ladies and gentlemen. The Cherokee Nation, many of you might remember this. I believe it was like back in 2012, they threw all of their Black members out of the tribe. But, the white looking ones, they kept them. It was no problem keeping them. But the Black members, the Freedmans, they were all kicked out. And if you look at the president of the Cherokee Nation, he just looked like a white dude. Okay. These people have hijacked everything. You got a lot of nerve telling people they don't belong somewhere. You don't belong there. You're a bunch of $5 Indians, okay? You ain't no real native. You're $5 Indians, all of you, but claim to be native. According to y'all, you are just everything on earth, which is not even possible. So now they're saying that these Freedmen Indians, they are now acceptable, y'all. They weren't acceptable when they got kicked out and got cut off from all of the benefits, but they're acceptable now. Shoot, these people are more Indian than you will ever be. So this is February 25th, 2021. A long-standing dispute over who can be considered a citizen of the Cherokee Nation finally came to a conclusion this week. The Cherokee Nation Supreme Court ruled on Monday that the tribal nation removed the phrase "by blood" from the Constitution and other tribal laws. That change formally acknowledged that of descendants of Black people once enslaved by the tribe known as the Cherokee Freedmen. They have the right to tribal citizenship, which means they are eligible to run for tribal office and access resources such as tribal health care. The recent decision by the Cherokee Nation Supreme Court is a response to the 2017 ruling by the U.S. District Court, which determined that the descendants of the Cherokee Freedmen are entitled to full tribal citizenship rights under the treaty the Cherokee Nation made with the U.S. in 1866. So everything should be extended to these Cherokee Freedmen. Everything that any Cherokee Nation person gets. They shouldn't be deprived of it. So the freedmen, of course, birthright spring from their ancestors' oppression and displacement as a people of color recorded and memorialized in Article 9 of the 1866 treaty. Enslaved Black people journeyed on the trails of tears. Yeah, we were part of the Trail of Tears. And see, that's part of the story they won't tell you. See, they want you to believe that mulatto looking Indian that they have up on the reservations, those were the only Indians that were part of the Trail of Tears. No, these Black folks were on that Trail of Tears too. And never let them tell you they weren't. They were. It's so much history they haven't told us, it's not even funny. So, yes, Black people were on the Trail of Tears. Okay, many Native Americans were enslaved along African Americans during the colonial period. Brown University historian Linford D. Fisher estimates that 2 million to 5.5 million Native American people were enslaved from the time of Christopher Columbus to around 1888. But some wealthier tribal citizens, particularly in tribes in the Southeast, that adopted certain norms of white settlers, also practiced slavery themselves. That includes the Cherokee people, some of whom in the early 1800s had started to enslave African Americans. I had this conversation with a woman before, and she denied this because she's part Cherokee. And she was, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. I said, see, I'm just talking to somebody that don't know the history. You did do it. The Cherokees did do it. Paint up the trails of tears shared by Blacks as well as Native Americans. Then in the late 1830s, the U.S. government forcibly expelled the Cherokee from their homeland and ordered them to relocate to present-day Oklahoma, an exodus known as the Trail of Tears. What's not widely known, though, is the enslaved Africans made the journey along with Cherokee citizens who enslaved them. And they were also slaughtered during the Trail of Tears as well, ladies and gentlemen. Many of those that were slaughtered were Black women and children. About 4,000 enslaved people were living among the Cherokee by 1861, according to the National Museum of the American Indian. The tribe abolished slavery in 1863. And shortly after the Civil War ended, the Cherokee Nation signed a treaty with the U.S. government that granted full citizenship to those formerly enslaved by Cherokee citizens. But in practice, freedmen were often denied those rights and excluded from the tribe. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. Everybody do it to us, y'all. Everybody tries to oppress us. So, in 2015, article published by the Columbia Journal of Race and Law, over the past several decades, Cherokee freedmen have fought to protect those rights through various legal proceedings. Freedmen have long been fighting to protect their rights. In 2007, the Cherokee Nation amended its constitution to restrict tribal citizenship to those with Indian blood. That expelled about 2,800 descendants of Cherokee freemen from the tribe. I mean, that's all they've been doing the entire time, fighting to get their melanated members kicked out. That's all they've been doing. All right, so they expelled 2,800 Cherokee freedmen from the tribe, the website for the National Museum of American Indian States. Chad Smith, the principal chief of the Cherokee Nation at the time, argued that the tribe was a sovereign nation and should therefore have the right to determine who qualifies for a tribal citizenship. But the freedmen pushed back, resulting in a series of legal battles over the next decade. In 2017, a federal district court ruled in favor of the freedmen, a decision that the Cherokee Nation Supreme Court has now reaffirmed. The by blood language found in the Cherokee Nation Constitution and any laws which flow from that language is illegal, obsolete, and repugnant to the ideal of liberty. Baker wrote in a recent opinion, these words insult and degrade the descendants of the freedmen, much like the Jim Crow laws found lingering in books in southern states from 57 years after the passage of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Yeah, well, we still are in Jim Crow. I mean, we are. And if we're not, then your police sure are treating us like we're still in Jim Crow. And many of you that agree with the cops, you're still treating us like it's still Jim Crow. Cherokee Nation Principal Chief Chuck Holskin Jr. commented on the decision. The Cherokee Nation is stronger when we move towards as citizens together and on an equal basis under the law. You know the white members don't like this mess, y'all. And they're going to still try to find ways to oppress these freemen. You watch. Citizens together and on an equal basis under the law, he said in a statement on Monday. The courts have acknowledged the strongest terms our ancestors' commitment to equality 155 years ago in the Treaty of 1866. My hope is that we all share the same commitment going forward. Yeah, we'll see. I doubt that. People don't change. They really don't. If we didn't learn nothing else in America, we have learned they can go from generation to generation and they don't change. They don't change. About 8,500 descendants of freedmen are currently enrolled in citizens of the Cherokee Nation, according to the news release from the tribe. Well, I guess this is a good thing if you're a freedman. You know, just be careful, because if you go around these people, they're going to be butt sore that you were able to beat them in court, and the oppression will never end. They'll be trying to do all kinds of things to get back at you for the victory. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. And this is very much part of Black history too. Peace, family.